Mercury is at the latest degree, Gemini. I mean, it's directly trining my ascendant, or my Mercury Uranus, and I'm a highly communicative being. And you can, the most unfortunate thing that you will experience is, I guess you can call it the split, is that people want to expand and say, okay, now, it's time to catch up, put the past behind us. Communications is going to light up the scene, and you can't speak enough about things in order to heal things. See, it's in order to feel things, and a lot of times, for us, the mind isn't going to feel things, isn't going to allow us to feel things until it runs it through itself, right? Most of the mainstream dominating mental case scene over there is saying that, yeah, you when you think of something, then you produce emotions over it, and then your body starts to feel a certain way. You can actually feel like you're in that same place of abuse, if you recall it. And it's like, you know what? I'm pretty sure, and I'll find real information on it. This information is that, yeah, there's that world where it just seems like you can't get out of there, but you can step above it and say, no, now you flipped it. You flipped the script. See, I was going to want to point this out, like, very tedious, but we have to communicate about this to bring it into what? Into your ancient meta here, which is it's the main disease. If you don't see the nature of it, you're going to let it be the boss, and then everything is flipped upside down, right? There's the reverse universe. It's a curse that only relies on words to get the job done of conveying the truth and reality? No way. That's why everything's so weird out there. It's like, you know what? We're getting dangerous to each other now because we're imagining who each other is, and we're imagining a life to be. And it's hard to tell who's who, right? But look at what is doing thing, and then saying whoops later on, like, oh God, that is actually not very popular as far as anything that wants to live disease free is concerned. The mind and illness are synonyms, especially when it's blind to itself. Then it's a disease. It can be a malignant, terminal. You're permanently sick, not reliable as a human presence, because the mind isn't human. It's fear. Fear isn't human. Love is human. Like and subscribe. Send money to. I'm going to keep doing this, babes. See, I am, just call me one of the last ones that does not. See, I have a landline on purpose. I stabbed my iPhone and made sure that I can't get connected to, and they can't see me, and, there's only a P.O. box, because that's the way it is here, but if you can understand, babes, it's just as hard for me to get to actually just surrender to what they're asking me to do, to click my fucking brain in eventually to, what they want to do. I don't think I need to do it. See, it's just as hard for me to do that as it is for you people that talk about Patreon and all this stuff to just lick an envelope and send some snail cash to the snail mail. You probably don't even live in the time area where we sent letters to each other with a little cash in the mail. And we'd sent a letter that we read those letters, and then we save them. I have letters that my mom sent me, and people have sent me, and they send it in the mail. It's and it takes a while for it to get there. I mean, I know that they're trying to obsolete the post office people, and I think they should. You can see that we're doing posts here. You have a cabinet. Every single social media application is called a cabinet, which is never private. By the way, people are imagining, they don't even think it. It's like, babe, this isn't private. The more private that they want you to be, it's more like, let's keep them away from each other. And especially don't let them know how many peanuts they're hoarding, and because you don't want them to just become transparent. It's the best security. The first time I heard that was from my mother. She's like, transparency is the best security. And there she was with no clothes on. I was like, just kidding. But really, I mean, transparency is the best way to keep being stupid. Luke! Sorry, Luke! Don't be Luke. Don't be a Luke Skywatcher, babe. Anyway, God, I was getting back to the Luke Skywatchers. Those are the meta cases that I'm starting to see it poke up now that it's saying, okay, it overlays and it says, my philosophy is your mind, your thoughts is going to make your body feel all kinds of ways. And it's like, it doesn't have to do that. You can breathe and keep sending energy from the now into your body from your lungs, and you don't have to have your mind feed all of your body and your nervous system. No. Now we might be getting in. See, I don't want to get into the superhuman powers thing. Let's just click that over. I want to start talking about your emotionality. Which one is it hooked into? The mind that's apt to think it's the only thing there, and then starts looping back and says no, and because it's only fear, and that creates an emotion too. I can't imagine that. And then check this out. There are people that are emotionally shut down whenever they experience an emotion, whether it's from the mind or from out there. See, you can experience emotions from the collective. You can experience your brothers, your most closest ones, emotional lives, even though you're not even communicating, because that we are all connected. And why, it's telepathy. It doesn't have to go to a negative place. You just kind of experience life. I don't know what you guys are gonna do. I mean, because the mind isn't the experience of life, and especially its emotions that it could produce of just only being afraid of giving it up, if giving its own self up to learn something else, make a breakthrough, and say, hey, oh wow, look at that truth. It's so beyond my fucking mind. And see, because the mind is the narcissist. It's the one that keeps itself. It would rather keep itself small. Whatever, rather keep itself whatever it is that thinks it's more real. And this is where we get the false identity. Because I'm just saying, it's never made that breakthrough. We are looking at the possibility. Sorry for always cutting my head off here. We're looking at the possibility of people that never run into their gurus. They don't know the story about their guru. First of all, your guru is your heart wisdom that is trying to speak to you from the inside, and it'll first start there. And if you keep honoring that, then you don't have a problem with gurus on the outside, because you can hear what they're saying and you say, yep, confirm. Yep, confirm. Everybody is your guru. But if you're denying that inside of you all the time, more and more it shows up on the outside. You need to seek it on the outside. Yes, this is our religion. You have a heart that needs to be awakened. And so you go and search for the one who has already had it awakened, and you don't need to think that they're going to be anything but like just, well, they might not even have. See, when you go to India to visit the guru, first of all, they already know that you're fully enlightened before you even got on the plane. So they're on the towel, in their diaper, doing their daily whatever. Somebody's giving them grapes. It's great. Thank you. Bring me grapes. We're bringing you something that is much more valuable than your brains. We're bringing you your heart. So bring us a grape or two. Make it non-GMO. Treat yourself better. And so that when you treat us, you're treating us like you're treating yourself, right? That's really how it is. It's not like you can force it on people. Do unto others as you want them to do unto you. No, it's happening naturally. Having said that, boy, the narcissist isn't really in their bodies yet. They're not really treating themselves anyway, and they don't know what they want. Anyway, how do I get stuck on the subject matter? It is the most boring subject matter. But the thing is their poor style of communication. Let's talk about it. That's what causes codependency. Did you know that? Did you know that codependency the disease of codependency, and even that can turn into narcissism, right? Because now you're just like masking. It's like, I don't know how I lost my legs and shit, but come on, and you get me something, I need it now, and fuck you if you don't! That's turned into a card, turned into a narcissist by having been abused by a codependent narcissist who turns people codependent. They can turn the most independent people, sovereign souls, into almost like now they're sucking their thumbs if they're not careful. Here's how it happens. There's an emotional investment that ends up happening. And you can be there, you can see that there's red flags with these people, and you'll stay way away from just emotionally investing. You just don't. A lot of the time, maybe you're just doing a transaction. I experienced this with a distant family member, removed, right, from a marriage. And it's like I kept noticing, we noticed it for 35 years until finally you kind of lean in and you're emotionally invested. And it kind of goes like this. Because all it is that you're looking for a confirmation of a truth that says, okay, I can trust you, right? We're on the same page about this truth. I mean, you're logged in with reality, and the sky is blue, right? And they go, but it has to be at that moment. It could be 35 years of just doing transaction, but now you really want, hey, we're on the same page, right? And they'll be like, they'll see it first, right? They go, and then they're like, not talk at all. And now you're going like this. Excuse me, I was just wondering if you saw that the sky was blue. I mean, really, if the sky was blue, then you would have said it. I thought maybe I was really, now you're just limited to texting, and now you're seeing that they're not, and now they're causing all this agitation. It's like they're plugging in, and they're going, yes, yes. It's a very, very upside down, primitive way of doing something. It's like they found a clever way to have a relationship with energy that is human. Because they're not that. They have a core energy deficit that's not accumulating by having contacted the truth enough that they get that reward, they get the divinity running through them, the genuine divinity that says, Eureka, I feel that now. My mind isn't so stressed because now I actually know. And how do you know? Your body tells you. Whatever it is that you're working on, you kind of still you feel stressed out a little bit, and then when you hit it, you're like, oh, and then you're relieved now. You're like totally relieved. That's why not just communicating with other people is working miracles, and just try to lay it all out on the table. Even that you can't lay it all out on the table and say, well, get astrology and say, well, then where's your Mercury? Oh my God, we have a Mercury square? Well, let's understand. You have a tendency to shut down. Things are a little bit too deep for you, but I have a tendency to see all the depths. I know it's deep. I mean, God, it can get deep, but why not? If you get a flash of it, communicate. Be of a beacon of light. They call it light. And there is a faction of people who have turned their realm of darkness into and unfortunately, it is the mainstream, into a practice. You want to come and see how it's done? And there's many versions of that mask saying, yeah, we do it like this, we do it like that. And hello, church over there. Whoa, you don't even make sense with your words. It's try to come up with a translation. When you start saying these things that you're repeating from scripture, put it down and say, and so now we'll make a 5-year-old understand it because I understand it. That's what Einstein says. If you truly understand something, you can explain it to a 5-year-old to where they can understand it. And it's more like they confirm. Yep, they got it. Let's go play. Got play? Got play? See, that's kind of what communications is, because you want to see how much a person... Play is another word for kind of loosened up. You want to let it loose. You don't want to just be tight. Right? You've experienced this if you're a mechanic. I mean, it's a miracle, because when you stay in a high vibrational frequency, you're just going to know that play. You can play anything. You can play anything you're going to alchemize stuff to work, and it includes that you'll never feel it hard to thread something. You'll just you'll be playing enough with your high vibrational frequency that it just It's almost like you know that none of this shit is touching because it's all just light. And how do we undensen ourselves? How do we get out of the density of even our bodies and into the light body? Communicate. And luckily here, you're looking at somebody who, it might take another year. Depends on how, if I can just stay undistracted of some things that are going on in my personal life. It's strange because I managed to stay. I mean, see, my spirit guides have told me that I have done enough meditation. I have done enough in my life that you cannot erase what is about to happen next with me as far as the initiation with Neptune moving over my ascendant and what's going to happen with the population also. And then some people are going to rise up and they're going to be leaders and this and that. And then who knows about, you know about the leaders, right? Look at Jesus over there. Are you ready to be a leader, narcissist? Not around you fucking people. And you wouldn't know that the entire society is corrupt or that the associations are corrupt without the organization that is already here simply that will every once in a while sacrifice one or two of them and say, to give some of you a conscience that could still have a conscience so that you can think, oh, so that we can be better. See, the church isn't trying to do that. They're trying to say, well, here, wow, sorry about that. We killed them. And that's the organization over there is boning you hard. But few people will know what that story is about. It's like, no, it's so that we can carry on, not with the world, but there's a higher vibrational frequency. You're going to stay buoyant. It's like this right here, this electronics, number one way to start resonation. Okay? Hit like if you felt uplifted by anything, because you know what? I'm somebody who is experiencing instant healing. I'm battling and I'm looking into what causes disease, and 99.99% of it is psychological. You've lowered your vibrational frequency into psychology, right into your mind. But then now, really what I'm saying is too, on top of all the chemicals and stuff that you're eating, you have gaslighting society. Gaslighters will make you, number one, I say it's number one, it's because you're even gaslighting yourself, which is to deny your feelings. And that's cancer. Cancer is feelings. And the reason why they call it cancer, when we only know that cancer is feelings and the emotions, is because they're trying to tell you, they're saying you have ignored your cancer. You've ignored your feelings, your emotionality, the more intelligent ones that informs you that, you know what, if you ignore this right now, like that first gut feeling, your life is going to be fucking miserable for a long time. Probably all of it. And you might become one that wants to drag everybody else down into this. Really, it's a false self that says, not only am I entitled, but I deserve this. This is my reward. I'm a pride parade here, and you're down and I'm up because it's just been so long of me living a fake life, and it can't possibly be something that is not working right in front of everybody's face, except for them. It's called the non-self reflector. And so we're looking at the possibility of these things morphing, like the somatic narcissist. The cerebral narcissist turns into a somatic narcissist, and that involves some other things, and you should inform yourselves. Start communicating on a very selfless level, because that's all you can do. And the hope is that one gets on a very high embankment, like 50 feet, and jumps head first onto a very hard surface. That's all we can hope for.